We had a question about being one of the best songwriters in the world, which is you. So how does that feel?
One of the best feelings in the world is to write a song that you really like.
Yes.
And that you feel is going to have legs and do something for somebody somewhere. Maybe it'll just make them fall in love with whoever they're dancing with.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll, put a thought in somebody's head or spur somebody to action or tell a story or paint a picture. To me, the art of the 3-minute song is just a wonder. I think it's underestimated. You can do something with a 3-minute song you can't do with a 400-page book. So
Yeah.
I'm really a happy songwriter.
And you're pretty much guaranteed more secure airplay if you keep it to a 3-minute format.
It
rather than,
has
say, a
nothing to do with
6-minute.
airplay.
No?
No.
You don't care?
Not when you're
No.
writing the song. No,
Yeah.
when you're writing the song, it's as spontaneous as looking at the sun and gasping how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
Or, looking at the casualties of war and gasping at how horrible it is. No, it's just very visceral and comes right into your head like a movie that wasn't there yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
For me, anyway. Music and words usually at the same time, and all of a sudden there it is, like dreaming. So when you're dreaming, you're not thinking about whether it's going to be a hit or not.
Yeah.
It shows up in your life and you say, oh my God, thank you. When it comes to marketing songs and stuff, I don't know anything. I don't know about that. I know that some songs people like a lot. Other songs people like a lot, but you'll never be able to get any airplay on them because they're standing up for something that
Yep.
isn't going to make anybody any money, and that's what they need to do. They're about paying the rent and making money. So if you play a beautiful song that that isn't going to make them some money, they're not going to play it. Or if, for instance, Universal Soldier is just going to get you in trouble, even though everybody will love you for it. The politicians who just don't want anybody to know about that kind of song will make sure that you not only won't hear that song, but you might even never be played in
Yeah.
that country again. So it's not as though it's a big government conspiracy to put down any one songwriter or any kind of song. It's a handful of guys, maybe 3 or 4 guys, in a temporary administration for maybe 4 years, who are simply greedy rogues. And abuse of power reaches all the way, even into something as innocent as songwriting. And I think that's an important point for people who write the kinds of songs that I do and that your station, favors, in that we don't create snakes out of worms. And a handful of greedy guys in an administration who put a songwriter out of business, or a painter, or anybody else, are just plain a low vibe. They don't last forever, but a song might.
Yep.
So go for it. Don't even think about marketing.
How did you feel when that happened to you? How did you contain that anger?
The Johnson administration was 4 years, followed by the Nixon administration, which was another 4 years. So it was both a Democrat and a Republican, and I didn't know about either one. So I didn't feel anything while they were doing it. I just thought, oh, I guess the U.S. has changed its taste, and even though I didn't know about it. I was having an incredible time. I was in places like Hong Kong and Paris and Canada, and I was living in Hawaii, and I was even playing here in Australia, and I didn't know. I didn't find out until 20 years. And when I found out, I didn't believe it. I said, why would they have an FBI file on me? I've never broken the law. So I got in touch with my lawyer. I said I wanted to find out if there was an FBI file on me. He said, yes, there is. And they want you to go to Washington, D.C. and sit in their offices with them looking over your shoulder while you look at it. Which he said, no, that's not going to happen. So they had to come to his office in Los Angeles while I read my FBI file. And it's the stupidest thing you ever saw. Of course they have an FBI file on me, but it's all blacked out. So it's not as though the Freedom of Information Act gives you any information.
Information for you.
Yeah, it's bogus. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was really taken aback. It was 20 years after the fact. I had obviously had my career destroyed and had never even known it. I never suspected anything. And then only 4 years ago, I found out about the CIA. That the CIA also separately had done their mischief to me and other songwriters. So, these things just go on. They're just a part of our life. It would never cause me to stop writing about what I want to write about, but mostly what I write about is love songs. That's what supports me. So I don't know, I'm real happy. As an educated person with a PhD, I'm saddest of all that the United States was denied my voice and the voice of other people who were saying things that could have made a big change earlier.
Absolutely, yeah. And you've been at the forefront of Indigenous rights.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you had a message to people, what would that be?
About Indigenous rights?
Yeah.
Well, time and time again, people say, well, you know, what's wrong, you know, what's the problem? The problem is poverty. The problem is people steal from these people.
Yeah,
Poverty, disease, you know, all the things that go with poverty. Disease, lack of education, lack of services, lack of hope.
Just an inequitable power structure that just sucks the life out of it.
You said that exactly right. It's an inequitable power structure, and it's not even really about Indigenous people. It's about some greedy guys wanting more than their share. There's a song on the new album. The album's called Running for the Drum, and the song I'm talking about is a little bit like Universal Soldier and a little bit like Little Wheel Spin and Spin. It's called No No Kesha Gesh.
Yes.
It's a big dance.
Yeah,
I love it.
We were going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
It's a great
but
number.
that's what it's about. It's about the unequal power structure. And the thing that I was trying to say in the 60s, if I had been allowed to speak out on television any longer than I was welcome, I was trying to tell people it's not that white people are hurting Indians, it's that greedy people are hurting everybody. That's the message. A handful of guys with a short time power can do everybody a lot of harm by their greed and the inequitable power structure you mentioned.
Yeah, and we were going to ask you about that song, No No Kesha Gesh, and
you heard it, huh?
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah,
yeah, it's a
Big
beautiful
old dance song.
we
It's a
used to
lovely
protest songs, but usually they have a downside. They're
They're usually real droopy, huh?
they're 10 minutes long, or they're terrible melody to it. But yours is like it catches you and you bop along, and it's
thanks.
magnificent. And even to watch, the video clip is good.
Yeah, it's a rocker.
Yeah, I love it.
What does No No Kesha Gesh mean?
Well, no means no.
Yeah.
But Kesha Gesh is a playful word. It's a Cree word. Literally, it means greedy guts.
Yes, yeah.
And it's for real. We had a little puppy on the reserve, and we called him Kesha Gesh because he was greedy. He'd eat his own dinner, then he'd want everybody else's, right? So we just playfully call him Kesha Gesh. So the song is about environmental greed. You know, environmental greed financed by war is really money laundering 101. You know, is war. And so that's what it's about. No Kesha Gesh. You can't do that no more. But people don't really put it together. They think that war is about things like
National security.
national security. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. It's not really.